tuning into the Black on Fire Radio, and you're listening to Yes, Massive Wagwa and Jerome State Jamaican brother there, reaching out to all the massive on the African continent, and you're tuning into the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, none other than Joby, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned.
Start the week, manze. Karibuni sana to the Black Fire Network radio station. This is the media of the 21st century. And of course, my name is Joby, to all our returning subscribers and listeners. And of course, to everyone who's here for the first time, welcome to the Black Fire Network radio station. It is exactly 11 minutes past the top of the hour, literally 1 p.m. It is lunchtime right here. And I don't know what's the time on your end, but good morning, good evening, whatever the time is on your end. And welcome to today's episode of the Pan-African Bliss Show with me, your host, once again, Joby. Quick shout out to everyone live with us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble, on the show page, on our TV, on the radio. Shout out to DJ Milka. Shout out to everyone live there on TikTok. Thank you so much for tapping the screen, DJ Milka. Shout out to also Martha, Karibu Sana, and everyone on the network. I hope you guys had a beautiful weekend. Hope you're ready for the week. Personally, I'm super ready. As you can see, the vibe is on top. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but of course, welcome to today's conversation, where we shall be talking about educating our children or your children at a very younger age, for them not to be literally colonized, as the way majority of us literally are learning how to uncolonize our minds. And that is what we shall be focusing on regarding all the conversation we shall be having today. Our first conversation shall be going to Mali, where we see there is majority of the people who actually have lost their lives. That is 21 civilians, and that is after a drone attack. And we know what is going on, of course, when you talk about literally the three Western African countries that have so far taken democracy into their own hands and controlling their own resources. That is also another danger. We shall also talk about Malawi, who have already also begun the screening of Mpox. And right now, as we talk, we remember last week, Uganda was one of the countries that actually did restrict and started actually closing the borders. And that is for them to prevent the threat of monkeypox entering into their country. But the question was, Uganda having very strict measures of literally LGBTQ. How is it that this country actually is super scared to be, attacked by this kind of a disease? But we shall be getting onto that, where we can also see the same country, that is Uganda. Last week, they did actually manage to explore 2 oil regions, and remember that was, I think, 2022. They did sign a certain deal with some Chinese companies, and they promised the people they shall benefit. But today we're talking about majority of Ugandans being in poverty. Remember, that was a few weeks ago. We saw Ugandans also demonstrating on the streets, calling out on corruption, poor, literally lack of development in the country, and so much that is going on. So karibuni sana, that is what we shall be talking about. We shall also discuss and also share a video that is educating a whole lot of things when you talk about something I mentioned and kids didn't actually believe it, and this is regarding the racism, inequality, and xenophobia in South Africa, where we saw the punishment of children and how it is happening in this country. So karibuni sana, that is our top discussion for today. And of course, I started with that amazing jam that is, of course, Thames coming in with me and you. And I'm going back with Adenkule Gold, More Than Enough. And I hope you remind yourself this week that you are more than enough, as you get and come back with the quote of the day, straight to the discussion.
Nobody too bad, I just can't get enough. I might overdose in love. You give me more than enough. Give me more than enough. Don't come to get to my baby, papa. It's a holiday for my baby, oh, papa. No one today. Your eyes will do this. No one today. Gonna make a run, yeah. Body too bad, you know. I just can't get enough. I know I don't love. Give me more than enough. Give me more than enough. And we all love on top, oh. That's all I do. Take over my world, oh. Give me to you. Oh, shady on. Oh, my baby, shady on. See me, shady on. Oh, my baby, shady on.
Yes, Karibuni Sana once again. That is Adenkule Gold with More Than Enough. One of my favorite jams from one of his album released actually in 2022, if I'm not wrong. And of course, we also have a couple of jams actually to mention. So we have More Than Enough. We have I'll get the other one at the end of the show. Okay, I'll get the other one at the end of the show. But karibuni sana to today's conversation, where I say today we shall be focusing on educating or re-educating the children at a very young age. Because if you try look at most of the African people or the African education, if you go back to all the way from education from home, actually, because it starts at home, it starts all at home, from home, going all the way to the hands of the teachers, you go to the hands of the pastors, you go to the hands of the society. There's a whole lot of expectations of how an African person should be, but all this has actually been narrated and set by the white man, not how African themselves can be able to define who they are. Because personally, understanding everything and who I am as an African person and trying to look back at what used to make me a perfection or the best person in the family is if I am going to church, if I'm performing well in school, I'm top number one. There's no understanding of where, hey, you parents are not even trying to educate me, even when it comes to homework. You can't even try to teach me or, help me 1, 2, 3 things. You want me to be on top, but you don't even try, come in the middle of my education, see during, the normal days without the exam, how am I performing? Am I doing okay? Am I understanding what is going on in class? Do I have anything disturbing me? There's a whole of expectations from us as African persons or African people, but this all has actually been narrated and defined by the white man. But today we shall be talking, of course, as we discuss everything going on in Africa today, we shall, at the end of the day, I'll be sharing a video of this young boy I met actually online yesterday when I was just scrolling through Instagram. And I bumped into, I think, 4 of his videos, and one of which was talking about the GDP. And it reminded me of this official who was sent to Congo, one of our officials of Kenya. He was supposed to represent the president of Kenya. He went to Congo, and I was asked about the GDP, and he couldn't actually talk or explain what a GDP is, which was very, very shameful. But I shall be sharing the video of that kid, and I love to say that right now we having actually young children not just actually on the internet, but being here and sharing the information about our continent, which you won't see in most of our system of education. Like you had on the video I was sharing last Friday or last week, our education, majority of it is define the parts of a grasshopper, which part of this eye of a grasshopper, what is it called, which color of this, things that just don't make sense. But if you look at the European type of education, the Chinese children are learning at a very young age, modern farming, a lot of things, they come up with a lot of skills. And we as Africans back here, we grew up asking ourselves like, hey, Kwani, what's up with white people? How talented are Chinese people? What's up with the Indians? But it reminded me of this video before I get to move on. I want to share this video very quickly, which Keith was talking about. Some time back. I don't know if I really saved it, but I'm going to try see. This video which was talking about where we have different classes of women. Start with the white woman, come to the Chinese woman, go to the Indian woman, let me just go back a little bit. Go to the Indian woman, go to the Mexican woman, go to the Philippine woman, the Japanese woman, like literally, and all the way to the Black American woman, to the African woman. They're men. What have they done? I don't know if I'm going to find that video. And it just defines everything I'm just talking about, literally. From just a very young age where we've not been educated. And this is why we see, and the mindset of African people has remained where we look at other people as very superior, not understanding that our IQ actually is on top, you know, is the best. Let me see if I'm going to find that video. If I don't, but I hope you guys understood what I did say as I get straight to what is happening in Malawi as we get to continue. But anyway, we shall be all over. But we want to start, of course, with Malawi, which I said is the first conversation I'm going to be coming back with. Mali, sorry, where there has been 21 civilians who have been confirmed dead, and that is after a drone attack that has left these 21 civilians, of course, killed. We've seen for the past 1 year, and because, of course, these three countries have acquired democracy at a different time, starting with Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, which so far we've seen that they have formed their own group, which is the Alliance Sahel state, and that they are tackling their own issues their own way. Number one, by controlling their own mineral resources. We can see them even now employing people, trying to create strong military groups and all that. But what happened during the weekend is that airstrikes on a village in northern Mali near the Algerian border, that was yesterday, killed 21 civilians, including 11 children. And this is a spokesman for coalition of Tigray majority pro-independence groups giving the information. And the attack on the village marks the largest number of civilians killed by drones since the breakdown of peace agreement between the country's ruling military, junta armed pro-independence group in northern Mali last year. And they're also adding that the strategic framework of the defense of the people in Azwadi is a coalition of Tigray majority groups fighting for the independence of Mali, which they called Azwadi. This is literally where we know, because the question goes back to where are the drones coming from, who is funding all this, you know, it goes back to literally tracing a whole lot of things. They're trying to literally destabilize Mali by all means. They're trying to ensure, they're trying to assassinate these three juntas because they're literally leading Africa on the direction that it should have had long time, but we've been having literally illiterate leaders who have failed to educate African people. Again, going back to my topic, it starts from the education. We've been failed to be educated literally what type of leadership, what politics is all about. It's all about just hits and runs. For the longest time, we've heard on the news, starting from Kenya, I always love, I'd go back to Kenya. Westgate, we had the, kuna Westgate, kuna ile, yeah, there's another one. There is one that just had I can't remember the other one, but literally all claim to be Al-Shabaab attacks, you know. And if you try look at all these Al-Shabaab attacks, yeah? No, not really. That is recent. There's another one. I can't remember the name. But anyone who can remember, there's so many attacks that have happened in Kenya that has left some Ilukwayamas today, somewhere near Somali. I can't remember. You remember? Hints? Anyone who remembers, kindly do hit it on the chat, right here on the chat, or right here on TikTok. Shout out to you, Mzale. Shout out to Mr. Black on Fire. Garissa, exactly. That is the Garissa universe, exactly. You know, if you try to look at, and not just Kenya, but so many African countries, with the scheme of Al-Shabaabs, they have guns, they have bombs, they have zinatokanga wapi. Where are they coming from? Where are they really coming from? Who funds all this? That is the question we need to be asking. Even during the demonstration, you guys, we saw we had a poisonous canister, poisonous chemicals that were being thrown at peaceful demonstrators. Who funded this? And shout out to Keith, who made me pull up the article or the information. This poisonous, whatever orange thing in ilikuwa imerushwa kwa maandamano has last been seen long time ago and is illegal. So who funds all these wars in Africa? That is the question. We can't be having left, right, and center civilians. And this is because just Africa wants to stand on its own, literally. That is the main reason. So many people died during the demonstration because Africa is trying to, Kenya was trying to stand on its own, okay? Kenya was trying to claim true democracy, because what we have here is not democracy. So are Nigerians, so are Ugandans, as much as they didn't pull it the correct way, but we were trying, and African countries are trying, and that is what we can see in Mali literally right now. 21 civilians, and mind you, they've been doing this behind the back doors. That was actually last weekend, but last weekend, we saw a few Russian soldiers who were killed by some Ukraine, and then we saw Mali, of course, withdrawing from, they stopped working together with Ukraine, literally. That is, I'm trying to find the right words to use, literally. But this is just so crazy. Every time that Africa wants to stand on its feet, you won't be allowed to. You won't be allowed to. But one thing I love about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso is the unity they have right now. And that is the same thing if the African Union was a true board, that was really working in favor of African people. They should be backing Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. But instead, we see them actually criticizing them, emphasizing on how they're going to be sanctioned, threatening them if they don't come back to echo us out that it's so dangerous to them as a country. Bullshit. But we can see the three countries actually thriving. So one thing I really do hope is that the unity of these three countries actually maintains the way it is, and the rest of the African people, especially the youths, we should be able to see through their growth. And I'm talking about through development, employment, because mind you, Ibrahim Traore actually has allowed people to go in his country. This guy is creating employment. Like, he's making it move. He's not saying tumetenga, tumefanya, najua, tuta. No, it is happening. It's not about we've set aside 6 billion and that all goes back to your pocket and you give people literally sand fertilizers. African people, you need to wake up. The death of these 21 civilians should be fought by majority of us who actually understand what is happening. And so many of us are still going to die because, trust me, even me talking the truth, I know that's a threat to so many people, even Africans themselves, because Africans are not ready to also hear the truth. Majority, let's just be honest. How many times will you go maybe try make a comment somewhere about, the reality of what it is, but people are going to come after you. Oh, you don't know, you need to seek Jesus. An example is religion, which is a debate people are not ready also to have as African people, to be specific. But anyway, I'm not going to get to that. It's all about educate your minds, especially your children at a very young age. Shout out to Keith in the building. But before I get to you, I see we have comments on TikTok. Shout out to Mzales. And to you, I can't read your name. I don't know in which language that is, but you're saying now this is super content. Thank you so much. And I also see Mzales says UK and US are the biggest sellers of weapons. Exactly. Because this is why you saw there's actually an interview, guys. If you can remember, Ruto was asked about what is his thoughts regarding the US involvement in Israel, in Ukraine, in so many countries, Sudan, Congo, and Ruto said anything the US does, we're comfortable with it. And this is clearly you've been told that so many African presidents are actually backing genocide, and this is because it is benefiting them. Fake money-wise, as our resources are being taken away. And it goes back to how illiterate of leaders we literally have illiterate of leaders. Illiterate. of leaders. But I also see I don't know how to pronounce it, but you're saying that African unity is a myth, especially from Western influence. It is possible, exactly, but it is possible if only we understand what this fight is all about. I'm about to share another video here, which is talking about the depopulation agenda and how many African leaders have signed into this. It starts with the genetically modified foods to all these VACCINEs, if you can connect the word, you know, that are in Africa. This monkeypox hoax being exaggerated in Africa, because I want to ask you people on TikTok and those who are with us on the chat, on Twitter and on YouTube, on Rumble, on the show page, where in Africa have we seen, and even today, maybe they'll claim maybe back then, but today, how many African countries are supporting homosexuality? How many African countries literally are tolerating that bullshit of homosexuality? If you don't want to talk about South Africa, fine.
You saw that?
Yeah, if we're not talking about South Africa, fine. I'm not sure about Zambia, Zimbabwe. But countries like Uganda, which was the #1 country to actually restrict their borders, it's not making sense to me. You as a leader, why are you being threatened, knowing that your country does not allow or support this kind of movement? Because monkeypox is caused through homosexuality.
Because he's a puppet and he's told to do what he's told to do. When it's time to do what it's told to do, when they not going to say this is not up for an option, or I'll remove your ass.
Yeah.
Or I'll remove you. Understand this? I'll get rid of you. And they know they will get rid of them. They've got no defense against no damn. And if you see, I sent you 2 videos. Ibrahim Touré is now outlawed colonial education in Burkina Faso. He's outlawed it. It's gone. Got to get rid of it. Okay, your children learning nonsense and worshiping other people. But the silly fact is, they were put in power by the white man.
That is true.
First things you will do. You don't got no. You think your goofy country's got some kind of defense against me getting to you? You don't. You haven't unified. Only through unity can you have stand up against Europe and America, the wall. As I sent you the video of them talking about the South Africans down there talking the truth about how America went into Libya, Iraq, Syria, still in the oil right now, and still all the money out the country. Now I told you I got no partnership with these Arabs because they showed their ass. As well as my show last night. I told you they gonna. It's either you cats on bits, you talking your fuck shit.
Don't change the topic yet, Kate. Kindly. Let's maintain. Let's maintain on what we're talking about. But I understand what you're talking about, Museveni. But this goes back to what I'm saying, educating the children at a very young age. Because if you try to look at Ugandans, we've talked about how many ages of how many generations right now. Excuse me.
You gotta have an awake parent.
Damn.
Your countries are not able until you get an Ibrahim Touré in there. They're not able to change. That comes from the parents. You know, you can't you're a revolution and screaming about Jesus in your household. You still worshiping a white Jesus. I hear irritated. I worship black Jesus. Where's that at? Where the fuck is black Jesus at? Nowhere. So please. You worshiping that shit, your children are going to be still colonized in the head because all the images are white. So
what is going to be the problem is that if today them trying and attempting to even demonstrate understanding that there's corruption, there's nepotism, there's a whole lot of things that through generations has not been able to be fought, and Kenya did give them a lead and gave the world a lead. If they fail right now to educate the young children today, you know, talking about Maria's sisters, maybe their children, their brothers, if they fail to tell them the truth of what is happening,
That's on there.
And the same is going to be repeated. They're going to be sitting on fear, and they're going to see Mkohozi, the Captain Crunch, coming back as the president, which
The white man's not gonna allow him. They say he's an idiot. They don't.
just an example, just an example, because that is when you lay back, that is they're gonna do and choose whoever they want. But if you try and move like
that showed Maria and these despots. Back in the 60s, under the white man was more developed, more organized. Got black people now where it's all fucked up, tore up. Because white people gonna develop where they at. Now, the black man's an idiot. They put these morons in charge. They don't know how to. What society do these black men know how to build? None. That's why they're there. Why Uganda is like what they call shithole countries. Whenever they develop, they can't even get their own people to build buildings now. They got to go to Chinese and other people to build. These are goddamn grown ass men you got in your fucking countries. What? Who brings in other people's men to build their countries? Nobody. Chinese not build you, bringing no African in to build their shit, except for the slavery days.
This is why it goes back to culture. The things I was talking about last week, but one, cultures and tradition, and where it is so important to be introduced in leadership, right? Because, I mean, look at way back, Keith, when you talk about how our women were the ones giving the right to a man leading, right? If I'm given the right to rule, exactly. But still, also for you to impress a woman as a man, your skills did really matter. But it's so crazy to see today men want to twerk for 3 hours and gain literally Guinness World Records. And now you're supposed to go attract a woman outside there. Which woman? And you're supposed to also build a house. Where?
Dead in the head woman. You got to meet a woman like I hate to be the irritant. I got to use her to say I quote to you Bible verses and shit. You know, Jesus in Psalms 28:52.
Men today are fighting to literally forcefully go into the bathroom of women because they feel like they are women. You know, I mean, that's the kind of society we're dealing with today, and that is the problem. If we had leadership, because if you try to look at most of our leaders, which we know if we say they come after us, majority of our leaders are eating it from the back. You know, they're getting butt plugged. So this is why they don't check, or we don't have literally a guidance of someone trying to show masculinity, and why we have laid back men, feeling all relaxed, don't want to showcase their skills. And also, I don't want to blame the women, but for me, the skills do matter, you got to show your skills do make, that is what we've talked about this a couple of times.
It's called civilization. A man is supposed to be a man. The African man's been turned to a child, and now they're trying to turn him from a child to a woman. I don't give a fuck about Revelations 28:35 or your surah. What have you built? What civilization have you left behind for your children? What have you done? Africans are caught in biblical and Quran nonsense. That's why you're the weakest man on the planet. Why you're colonized and conquered and laughed at. Absolutely insane. So, if I'm a leader, I'm gonna be even to right. We're gonna start doing, like you said, we're gonna start bringing skills back into the country. Your thing requires skills.
Exactly.
You're not teaching no Bible. You want to learn that shit at home with your goofy mama. But in school, you're gonna learn how to build a building, learn how to mine the resources underneath you. You're gonna learn how to make wealth for this country. You're gonna learn technology. You're gonna learn shit to develop the country. Not a bunch of fucking make-believe shit. I don't want to hear you make-believe. You're gonna learn technical skills. I don't want to hear you worry about, I went to church, son. I don't give a fuck about your church. The church ain't done shit to keep your mind in poverty. So I don't want to hear nothing about your goddamn church or your mosque. You the only niggas go to church and mosque every Sunday, and you're living in absolute abject poverty on the continent. So obviously it doesn't work. Just keep waiting. You've been waiting for 500 years since the white man brought it to you. Okay? You've been waiting.
Would you believe me if I told you that
So I think before I share this video, this is talking about depopulation.
Yeah, she's telling the truth. I've been saying,
Before I share that video, I think I should share this one. There's remember there's a time I was telling you about the racism going on in South Africa, the punishment in schools where you're being auctioned, for slavery.
the racism is palpable because these Negroes are still messed up in their head, still worship the enemy, while they still they become more racist. I love it. When you're stupid, you hate other black people telling you the truth. Well, live in your shit, live in your filth. But they talk crazy to you. 7% of the population is white. You overwhelmingly can, are the majority in your own country. Let an invading people come in and treat you like shit, teach your children shit, treat you like shit, and then you get mad at other Africans who. South Africa. I was going to do this show this week and I had no time. South Africans. You know that Nigeria, who you hate so bad, spent $82 billion getting you motherfuckers free. Not 82 goddamn naira. 82 billion US dollars. Of course, you're not taught that. $82 billion getting you free. And you haven't spent shit on no other African. You've done nothing for no other African country. Because all you South Africans are fucked up in their head. $82 billion. I forgot what the American blacks have spent on you guys. Wasn't that much. We spent, I think, $2 or $3 billion trying to get you free over here. $82 billion Nigerians spent to get you niggas free. You can't make it up. And your xenophobia is so out of control and crazy.
Let me share this.
I feel absolute anger. Seeing that video took me back to
What was the
dark
video?
ages 50 years
What happened?
ago, prior to our democracy.
The video she's talking about has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. In a scene reminiscent of a slave auction, black students were held in a cage and their mixed-race classmates mockingly bidding for them. This didn't happen in the US, UK, or France.
Of course, the mixed race, the mulattoes. Of course, I tell you, I don't fuck with no mulattoes. Of course, the mulattoes. Of course. Putting the true Africans in cages and making them be slaves. Houses. Look at this educational system. Everybody in there is supposed to be fired and sent to prison. The teachers in there are supposed to be fired and given jail terms. But of course, in South Africa, it didn't happen because the mulattoes are worshipped with these dumb niggas. Go ahead, Joe.
Incident took place in Pineland High School in Cape Town, South Africa. And this isn't the first either.
Wow.
A few weeks ago, 12 pupils were suspended from a girls' school in Pretoria for sharing offensive messages about their black classmates on a whites-only WhatsApp group.
Wow.
In 2019, a teacher in the country's northwest province was suspended for making black children sit separately from their white classmates.
Suspended.
And there are many more examples, all pointing towards
fired and in jail. Just suspended. Oh, we're gonna smack you in the hand. Tisk. You know you got caught. You weren't supposed to be doing that, but you got caught. So we're gonna suspend you. We're gonna bring you back with money. Smack you in your hand. Tisk. You guys. She's supposed to be goddamn fired and imprisoned. Suspended. You got your rabbit ass mind. Fired and imprisoned.
it's a pattern and not a one-off.
No, it's not
30 years after the end of apartheid, racism, it seems, is alive and well in South Africa. For half a century,
never fought. That's why. The reason why they got free had nothing to do with no Nelson Mandela. Because how the Africans fought for these morons. They didn't free themselves. And that's why you see the white man, the whole fake story of South Africa. The white man all of a sudden changed his mind and he was going to be human to the black people. That's their fake story in 1992, which is a lie. The white man was forced at gunpoint by Angola, by Nigeria. Angola gave an edict, and no black people don't like to hear this because it's too raw. Shout out to Angola. Said if you don't stop your shit, we're gonna come down and murder unalive every white man, every white woman, every white child. That was the edict. White man lost that war to Angola. It's okay, now we're going to be right. We're going to do good. We're going to, if they change. They know you niggas ain't never fought for shit. And so they back to their old ways because they went in 30 years in Angola and hollowed out their military. So these niggas won't be a threat to them no more. Because they know you goofy motherfuckers ain't never going to fight. You know, you're not a Kenya. You're not a Nigeria. You're not going to fight Nigeria. You'll still be taking it up the ass, literally. That's what you do. Got these mulattoes running around talking crazy to you. Got your fucking mind. But don't you got Jesus? Why Jesus ain't? Why these white people about your Jesus ain't practicing their Jesus on you? You too stupid because they dumbed you down. In South Africa, some of the dumbest niggas on the continent. And you're developed. You're in a developed country where you're stupider than other. This is a fact. It's not my opinion. This is a fact. You're dumber than other Africans. And you stay in a developed country. I mean, your areas are not developed. Your areas are shitholes. You go to your fake churches and you mine in poverty and shit. What has this fake Jesus done? Nothing, because he doesn't exist. So you keep praying for the next 20 years, ain't shit gonna change for you. White man told you, you ain't believing in Jesus. He believe in you niggas supposed to be slaves, impoverished. You can't make this up. Because they never change. You want to take other Africans on TikTok. We live in a rainbow nation. Rainbow? White people live good. You don't. You live in shit and piss. I've been to South Africa. Can't fool me. I know you live fucked up. So fucked up it made me cry. It broke my heart. But you tell me, mind your own business. I believe that. I'm minding my own business. I don't care if they put you in a cage, what they do to you. Pray to your fake Jesus, who ain't never going to show up. Never going to show up.
Apartheid
Go ahead, Joe.
subjugated the native black population with race-based laws that limited their movement, employment, and place of residence, among other rights and freedoms. Today, despite the legacy of anti-apartheid activists like Nelson Mandela, Robert Sobukwe, and Ahmed Kartada, Black South Africans still suffer from widespread inequality. According to a 2022 World Bank report, South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. Race plays a determining factor in this phenomenon.
Look at that. That's what I see. That side of the road, this is how dumb these niggas are. One side of the road, you have great house. I see it in my own eyes. That picture's true. You have beautiful homes just across. I mean, these white people are bold. Side of the road, you have beautiful homes with a swimming pool. On the other side of the road, you have niggas living in squalor and shit and piss and don't even have running water up in there. This is how bold they are with their racism. And I love it. Because white Jesus ain't done shit, ain't gonna do shit for you. Why white Jesus got you living all fucked up in your own country like that? Across the street. Across the street. At least in America, they put the neighborhood away from the black people where you couldn't get to the white people because they know we were going to get to their ass. They were going to be across the street. Go ahead, Joey.
This looks like a picture in a book. This shouldn't be reality, man. This is so crazy.
That's where they got that's a drone shot. It is crazy. So y'all colonized in the head and believe them white people don't go to them churches. Them niggas over there in them poverty areas go to church every day like airtime. And this is what they get. Because the shit ain't real. Jesus will show us the way, the light. The white man will change. He's not. His DNA is a beast, morons. He's not going to change.
In perspective, 10% of South Africa's white population still holds 80.6% of the country's financial assets.
Well,
but they still tell you that this guy and his economic freedom fighters are crazy. Look, the big problem, though, is that poverty and systematic racism have fueled hate, not towards the white minority, but foreigners. Xenophobic violence has been a persistent crisis in South Africa.
The black people that came to South Africa, they not the ones that oppressed you. They're not the ones that stole your jobs. The white man's got control of your country. What are you talking about? They own the wealth of your country. And why didn't Nelson Mandela ever give it back when you got your fake freedom? When you supposedly won, you didn't win shit, you didn't fight. Other Africans fought for you, miserable niggas. I'm gonna keep it real. Other Africans fought for you, miserable niggas. You didn't do no fighting. So that's why the white man can say he changed and he's gonna be nice. You guys say, yeah, just be nice to us. Not give us the goddamn country back, not give us the economics back. Just be nice to us. Don't call us a nigga in our face. Go ahead.
Since the end of apartheid, Watch at Witwatersrand University reported that from 1994 to 2024, xenophobic attacks resulted in 669 deaths, 5,300
against that xenophobic attacks, ain't none of that. You ain't fighting white man, but you're fighting black people. Xenophobic attacks.
These attacks usually target migrants from other African nations, like neighboring Zimbabwe, blaming them for high unemployment and high crime rates in the country. According to Human Rights Watch, Operation Dudula, launched by youth in Soweto, and now with branches across the country, is perhaps the most lethal and dangerous byproduct of xenophobia. Youth who initially wanted to address crime and drug use in Gauteng province's communities are now infamous for calling for mass deportation of undocumented immigrants, blocking them from accessing healthcare, and raiding businesses belonging to foreign nationals. Look, I'm not South African, so I'll let Malema explain the ills of xenophobia for you.
They're not going against the Asians that are there illegally. The Chinese man, millions of Chinese are now in South Africa illegally. Millions of goddamn East Indians are in South Africa fucking illegally. They don't go after them because these black people, those are my masters. This is what they believe. I'm telling you how fucked up the South Africans' mind is. These are my masters. But you other black people, you're black like me. You're supposed to be fucked up and impoverished like me. Because Jesus said so. So when they talk about that, these are xenophobic attacks, other Africans. They don't attack no Indians who treat them like shit. These Just Belina got that right. The Indians are worse than the white man. Indians are, I love it. In their face, racist as shit. White man's racist, but the white man sits on high, so he doesn't have. You get the Indian, the Asians, since they the buffer race and the fake and the other mulattoes that they created. Not many South Africans come in contact with white people. They don't want to be bothered with these niggas. They get the Chinese and the other buffer classes to deal with their ass. Say, listen here, I don't want to talk to you, nigga. Talk to this Asian I let in there, or this East Indian. You go away. Sir, can I get their jobs? I told you, nigga, go away. Talk to the East Indian, or this Arab, or this Chinese motherfucker I brought up in here. Or talk to these mulattoes I made around here. Conquer. Who you worship, that what you worship.
That from xenophobia, it goes to tribalism.
Duh.
And once it goes into tribalism, it's unstoppable. It leads to genocide.
Of course, that's what Africans are going to do. Tribalism is xenophobia. They hate other Africans that look like you, talking about their different tribe. Because you are an idiot. It means you're still stupid in the head. It means you're a child. And you're supposed to be, the white man said you're supposed to be dominated. Who the fuck is talking about tribalism today? You're supposed to be dominated, they say. Chinese said openly, these niggas still got tribal. They hate each other. They're supposed to be dominated. That's what they say. Hey, Joey.
Other based on language.
And so, in short, South Africans have fallen for divide and conquer politics, pitting them against their fellow black Africans, blaming them for their socioeconomic problems, while the truth is there on your screen and publicly shared reports.
What are
immigrants or language?
What's happening? Like, oh, that's the slave thing. Okay, yeah.
Variation.
What other Africans are putting you in a cage? Oh, none. What other Africans are putting you in a cage? Oh, none. None.
It's racism, inequality, and xenophobia. I'm Ahmed. That was African.
So it is crazy. You go back to this video that I'm going to share next, and you ask yourself, you're hating yourselves instead of creating unity to understand what is coming, who is after you, who is the enemy, because the agenda is actually all about you. And the people who are actually promoting also the tribalism, because let's talk about the opposition leaders, you know.
What they do in those churches, Joey, with the 19? Didn't all them preachers tell these morons in Africa to take the you know what? All these morons sitting in these churches were told by these goopy preachers would take the BACC, Joby.
Would you be?
Jesus didn't tell them it was wrong? Of course not. So these morons are told by a wicked ass church that's phony. You right there, you should then know church ain't real, don't support you. Because we know what's in those things. Shout out to South Korea now is that it launched an investigation for all the people being unalived by taking a you know what. Got the nanotech in there. The scientists in South Africa, like, it's got robot technology. Yeah, it's stupid. Yes, it does. And every one of these goopy preachers in Africa told the African to go ahead and do you know what. And you still run around talking that Christian shit. You're a moron. Go ahead, Joby.
Believe me, if I told you that the depopulation agenda is real, and that I have over 20 head of states and government who have openly positioned themselves in favor of depopulation. At least 7 of the US presidents have declared themselves in favor of the depopulation agenda. Because and the rest of them are coming from Europe, like from the UK.
The African woman is the original, not your fake Jesus. So she's going to give birth no matter what happens. Because she's the closest thing to God on the planet. And so they know that. So they say, hey, how can we get rid of the you-know-who's? What can we do? We can't find them no more because they're the majority on the planet. So we got to create schemes and scams to do what we need to happen. Go ahead, Joby.
From France, Germany, Belgium, some parts of Eastern Europe and the Middle East. If I got your attention and if you're still doubting, then this video is for you. You want to make sure that you stick with me until the end because I will tell you where you can download what I'm about to share with you. Africa, Africans, wake up. It is time for another history lesson. Now let me read to you what this head of states and governments have said in their own words without any comment from me. And you can then determine for yourself what this means to you. Okay, let's go. Number one, Thomas Jefferson.
This is why your ignorance is so fucking dangerous, African. You not knowing shit, how the world works, caught in dumbass religions. This is how it becomes so fucking dangerous. Because you have people that are prey, parasites, and you don't know about being defensive. Go ahead, Joe. Who's asking
President of the United States of America. This is what he said in notes on the state of Virginia in 1785. Quote, I advance it therefore as a suspicion only that the blacks are inferior to the whites in the endowment of both body and mind. Number two, Otto von Bismarck, Chancellor of Germany.
Pause it. And this is Thomas Jefferson, who had black children, made a bunch of fucking mulattoes. And he told his own mulatto kids, you motherfuckers are stupid because you got nigga blood in you. You don't know that part. Do this real quick. That's just she's talking about Thomas. Let's go to Google. Say, how many black children did Thomas Jefferson have? Well, he raped Sally Heming, a child, his slave woman. She's a child that he raped.
How many children?
How many black? No, not his white children. How many black children did Thomas Jefferson have? Who he had as slaves? He had his own children as his slaves on his plantation. It's crazy. People used to go, damn, a lot of these kids look like Thomas Jefferson, right? Because they were his children. He was raping Sally Heming. Did it say? Six. And he said that these niggas are inferior, Joby. I made my 6 mulattoes and they kept them enslaved, Joby.
That's what they do.
How wicked they are.
This is what he said In a speech to the
But
Reichstag in
these shout out to pause it. These shout out to Thomas Jefferson told you 300 years ago that the religion said the Christian religion we use for dominance. It's all a lie. At least he was lying. At least he told the truth about that. Thomas Jefferson told you the religion 300 years ago was a lie. It's made up. He says you can't bring no Bible to him. Somebody's gonna burn in hell for raping these black women, all the other shit. He said the religion is a lie. We made it up to conquer. He was the third U.S. president. Go ahead, Toby.
1881. Quote, all this colonial business is a sham, but we need it for the elections.
Exactly, it's a sham.
Number 3, King Leopold II of Belgium. This is what he said in a letter to the ambassadors in London on July 3rd, 1883.
All this African land.
Quote, I do not want to miss a good chance of getting us a slice of this magnificent African cake.
African cake.
Number
right.
4, Theodore Roosevelt, 26th U.S. President. This is what he said in a letter to a Senate in 1905. Quote, I could not consent to take any action which will aid in the submission of the Negro race to social equality.
Exactly.
Number 5, Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the UK. This is what he said in a speech to the Palestine Royal Commission in 1937. Quote, I do not admit, for instance, that a great wrong has been done to the real Indians of America or the black people of Australia by the fact that a stronger race, a higher grade race, has come in and taken their place.
And stole that shit.
Number 6, David Ben Gurion, first Prime Minister of
South Africa. They told you, I don't feel bad about us coming and wiping these niggas out in Australia. A stronger race has come in and stolen the land, and it's right and it's good. That's how they still feel in South Africa. Yeah, I told you, when I was in Australia, I couldn't find me. Can I find some black people here? Australia is an African land. Where are they at? Oh, we genocide most of them, Mike. They're around, I kept hearing, they're around here, Mike. Just keep walking around, Mike. You'll find them. You're running for some of their communities, Mike. When most of them been wiped out. And you got the Prime Minister of England back there told you, that's right. They were supposed to genocide these niggas. And I don't feel sorry about it either.
Israel. This is what he said in a speech to the Knesset in 1960.
You ain't understand, black people.
The World Zionist movement should not be neglectful of the dangers of Black Africa to it. Right. Therefore, it is necessary that the whites increase employment of blacks and should train Africans to fill the post of black laborers. Number 7, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh.
Those are the Jays. That's why they're around all around Africa. Not really the white man that controls Africa, it's the Jays do.
He's helping us.
Would you believe me if I told laborers? Number 7, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. This is what he said in the Deutsche Presseagentur in 1988. Quote, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation.
He just said that's like kill all. He said so I can kill all these niggas. That was
Number 8.
That was the Queen's husband. Let to come back as a virus so I can kill all these niggas off this planet.
Richard Nixon, former U.S. president. This is what he said in the message to Congress on population growth and the American future on July 18, 1969. Quote, in the long run, population growth is the most important environmental problem we face. Number 9, Albert Gore, former U.S. vice president. This is what he said at the UN Cairo Conference on Population and Development in September 1994. Quote, population control will now become the counterpiece of the U.S. foreign policy. Number 10, Mikhail Gorbachev, former General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. This is what he said in a speech at the Gorbachev Foundation in 1996. Quote, "We must speak more clearly about sexuality, contraception, about abortion, about values that control population, because the ecological crisis, in short, is the population crisis." Number 11, Prince Charles, now the King of England. This is what he said in a speech to the Royal Society on May 22nd, 2012. Quote,
"This is no good sign.
"I must say, now that I have been to Africa, I am even more determined to do what I can do to help tackle population growth and environmental degradation."
Which is a lie. But why they worry
Number
about
12.
Africa? They don't want to destroy the environment, not the black people. Black people don't got shit. So they can't destroy the environment. They're impoverished. It's the mining companies that they have created the degradation, which they don't want to stop. All they keep talking about was wiping your black ass out. While you sitting in your dumb ass churches, white man brought me Jesus. But good luck to you, goofy nigga.
Margaret Thatcher, former British Prime Minister. And this is what she said at the UNICEF Summit on World Population Growth in July 1989. Quote, "The simple fact is that the world's population will continue to grow, but we must take steps to prevent it from overwhelming our planet."
For a second. Now understand we're talking about population. The white population is crashing. They're not having any kids because I'm not going to say it on here. Only ones having population growth are the African women.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So they're not talking about this population of everybody, because you go to every white country, Joe, we can look this up, every white country has a negative population growth.
We seen it on this right now. It's on the socials how they're paying money to
pay people to have babies. Yeah. Please put your dick in some white coochie, please, white people. But that's not gonna work because there's a long story behind that. You weren't supposed to be here. Go ahead.
Number 13, Jacques Chirac, former president of France. And this is what he said in an interview with Le Monde in November 1995. Quote, "The population growth in the third world is unsustainable. We must encourage birth control."
Unsustainable.
Number 14, Dwight Eisenhower.
All that other shit. It's not, you know how big Africa is? Africa's fucking huge. Unsustainable how? It can grow any food it wants. That's a lie. They just don't want. See, you black people are coming close to taking back the planet again. And they're acutely aware of this. They're acutely aware that the African will take back the planet and throw off these fucking fake ass religions. They're acutely aware of this. That's what they're scared about.
Now, 38th President of the United States of America. And this is what he said in the speech to the National Security Council in 1957. Quote, "We will not allow a single inch of Africa to fall under communist control." Number 15, General Charles de Gaulle, President of France. And this is what he said in a private conversation in 1961. Quote, "The most important thing in Africa is to prevent it from becoming communist. Everything else is secondary." Number 16, still Charles de Gaulle. This is what he said in a speech in Brazzaville in 1958. Quote, "As for the black Africans, I will try to say something clearly. France is not indispensable to Africa, but Africa is indispensable to France."
Exactly. See,
Number 17, Henry Truman.
France and all Europeans need Africa. So he just told the truth. He said France is not indispensable to Africa, but goddamn it, Africa's indispensable to goddamn France and all of Europe. So niggas backwards, stupid, and religiosity. Go ahead, Joby.
33rd President of the United States of America. This is what he said in a speech to Congress in 1949. Quote, "Africa is a vast continent, and we cannot allow it to fall into the hands of the communists." Number 18, Adolf Hitler, Führer of the German Nazis. And this is what he said in Mein Kampf in 1925. The Jews and the Negroes were brought to the German Rhineland by the Jews for the specific purpose of running the white race by the necessarily courting bastardization. Number 19, George W. Bush. This is what he said in the State of Union address in January 2000. Quote, we need to tackle population growth in developing countries. Number 20, Barack Obama, President of the United States of America. This is what he said in an address to the UN General Assembly in September 2009. We must find a way to reduce the world's population. So you see, this is what it is.
So now you have it in their own words, unfiltered.
You moron,
And
Africa.
the reason why I tell you this is because I think we should know. We should know all of this. And once we know, we have to teach others. We have to let others know so that we know what is happening around us. I still have a list of other influential people who have pronounced themselves also in favor of the depopulation. And so if you're interested in knowing...
And it includes even our own African puppets, literally. But shout out to John Mosquito. And I love the way she ended the video by saying that, focus on the conversation, educate people, let them know what is going on. And it goes back to the children. Because if only we had most of this information, like I was saying last week, if you were to take me years back and I have all this information, oh my God, I'd be a billionaire walking. I'd have used my information in so many different ways, so many different ways in terms of skills, in terms of so many ways that we've not been taught.
Well, I know you wouldn't have sold your gold for 10 cents. Got you some. I know you wouldn't have done that.
Be controlling that mind inside, trust me. Oh my goodness, I'll be the despot over there for real. My God damn, you Negroes don't know shit. Let me show you the way. But that is basically what needs to happen. We need to re-educate the children. It has to start from home. No more saying that we can't say we don't care what you're being taught at home, because if you start at home, it all starts with the religion, prayer in the morning, in afternoon, in the evening. All you think about and know about yourself as an African person is how am I saved? How holy am I? I'm not committing sins. Okay, I can't even have sex because God,
there's no such thing as sin. Made up. Okay. No such thing as if sin was so bad, why do white people do so much sin they own and control everything? Yeah, they're the ones killing, they're the ones putting you in cages. Where's the sin at? You're the idiot that believes in the shit.
Killing and raping innocent children.
Raping everything. Got people living in that, as Joby showed that picture, they living all good on the other side of the road. You and your pissing shit. That is
a sin.
Sin. They gave you. You the one. You got the dumb mind. I don't want to be sinning. What? What are you talking about, moron? Shit.
It's insane. It's insane. But come to the end of today's conversation. I want to wind up, of course, with the monkeypox debate and the numbers, of course, being exaggerated by the media. I can see Malawi right now, of course, for them, they've also started screening people as they come in and out of the country. Uganda, remember last week for them, they said they're already closing the borders. This is going to be, of course, an economic effect to so many people. That is what they want.
The video I told the doctors, or the real doctors already know. Monkeypox coming, what Joby said. If you're not going nobody's backside, you shouldn't have any monkeypox. But they got to put it in Africa, because remember, Africa's got the deep pop going on. All these things got to be in Africa. They say, shout out to the goddamn white doctor when you got your fake AIDS. Africans running around, sex, hey, I'm committing sins and AIDS. Hey, stupid. We know you're a dummy. Didn't come from your sin and your sex. Came from a bioweapons lab, moron. Okay? You're too stupid to know they cook that shit up. You run around talking about sin and black women's vaginas. That was to scare you, keep raping sex, because that's depopulation.
But as we come to the end of today's conversation, shout out to John Mosquito. I was trying to switch my heater on. That is what was happening. Shout out to Anthony Technologies. To everyone who was there earlier with us, Brill. A lot of comments that you guys made earlier. I appreciate you for debating and participating on the conversation. And also to everyone, all the amazing silent listeners today, you've decided to be on YouTube, on Twitter. I see you. And to everyone on the website, asanteni sana for tuning in on today's on Humble. And for those who shall be catching this on a replay, I hope you guys get to enjoy the conversation of today. Give us your thoughts on what we've debated today. What would you also love us to change maybe on these conversations or episodes of the Pan-African Bliss Show? Feel free to also email us at kcnewsam15@gmail.com. And also, I'd love to urge you before I get to leave, kindly do purchase or rather check our website. First, number one, ensure you have our application. That is the Black Fire Network app. In case you're new here, subscribe on YouTube. But most importantly, for you to stay connected, have the Black Fire Network application, which I want to urge you to go to our store. Okay, on our store, you're going to find other amazing things, literally including merchandise, handbags, but before that, on top, that is on the Black Fire Network sports part. Okay, Kit, I think we should change the name, right? You said we're going to change the name. It's not going to maintain.
I don't know why you put that up there. I never told them to put no.
Yeah, but do check out our new amazing products. We have amazing vitamin and minerals products. We have beauty products. We have
brain health. All the minerals that we need, family. In America, we're mineral deficient because of the GMOs. We're mineral deficient, guys. So we must have vitamins and minerals to restrain us and keep us natural, because our foods are all GMOs. So that's why guys asked me to create it. It took me a while. Guys asked me a year ago to create it, so I was doing other shit. So it'll be all.
John Mosquito, this is time for you to actually, go on the Black Fire Network store and purchase our amazing natural supplements, okay, which are going to be beneficial for you. We have beetroot, we have bee bread powder. For you who's always exercising, check out our store, and of course, ensure you purchase a thing too. I don't know how Keith is going to be transporting to you all the way to London, but I do believe it's very possible.
That's a developed country. All he has to order, and it comes straight to him. It comes straight to his mailbox. All he has to do is put an order, and it goes straight to his house.
Yeah, so John Mosquito, hope you had that, okay? You go to the Black Fire Network store and purchase our products, mate, okay? Keep it healthy, mate. Keep it healthy. But have a good day.
Yeah.
Have yourselves a beautiful day, family. I knew you're going to come with a one. Much love, family. See you guys later.
British people always say, yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. British, yeah.
Have yourselves a beautiful day, yeah? And take care, yeah? Do not bump into any cracker who's going to knock your nose or some, okay? And sure you're safe. Have yourselves a beautiful day.
It's a fortunate day. That's what I'm saying.
You give me more than enough. Give me more than enough.